Good morning and welcome to Algebra 1. Today I'm going to go over the homework assignment, which was evaluating functions from a graph again. And then we'll do a little review because we're going to have a quiz/test next week on the functions unit so far. So real quick, we still use the same graph for the problems that we're looking at right now. And again, the whole goal is if I give you a question, like the first question, which was on the worksheet, which was f of 4, you're going to go to 4 on the x-axis, and you're going to tell me that the y value there is 5. F of 4 equals 5, and that's the answer to the first problem. Let's keep going. F of 10, I think, was the next one. So we go to 10 on the x-axis, and we find that it's all the way down here. The y value, -1. The answer is -1. And then we have f of -7. So -7 on the x-axis is right there. If you look down to where the line crosses, it's at a y value of -1. So the answer there is also -1. So far, so good. F of -7 is -1. F of 1 is the next question. Well, again, now we're looking at x being 1. Where is the output? It looks like it's up here at 2, because the line exists at 1, 2. So f of 1 equals 2. Moving on to f of 5. 5 on the x-axis is right there. If you look up, you find out that the output is 4, right there. F of 5 equals 4. F of x equals -1 is the next question. It's the first one that's asking it a little differently. They're not giving you the x, they're giving you the y. F of x equals 1. That means that the y value is 1. And you're supposed to tell me everywhere that the y value is 1. There's 3 places, actually. First is right here. When x is -9, y is 1. Then over here, when x is 0, y is 1. And then over here, when x is 8, y is 1. So there's 3 answers. It's when x equals -9, 0, and 8. F of x equals 2. Well, again, let's look to see the level of 2 on the y-axis. The first place is right there when x is -10. Then there's another one right here when x is 1. And the last one's right here when x is 7. So there's 3 answers. F of x equals 2 at x equals -10, 1, and 7. Last question, f of x equals 4. Well, 4 is up here. And the only place it actually equals 4, it's not here because that's an open dot. Open dot means it doesn't exist there. So the only place is over here when x is 5. That's the only place it exists. F of x equals 4 at 5. That's how we read the graphs. There was no math to do. The notation does not mean we're multiplying. We're not solving for a variable called f. That's not what's happening. It asks you to read the graph and tell me an input or an output based upon the question. Okay. So what is on this unit quiz/test? Well, remember that packet I gave you that was homework a few days ago? That's it. That's basically what it's going to be. It's going to be an at-home test, obviously, because we're at home for the time being, at least until January. I'd like it if you didn't use any resources other than your mind, a calculator, and if you really have to, our videos, but try not to use any extra people or the internet other than for the videos. What's on it? Well, remember the packet. The first thing was, is it a function? I gave you also a quizzes assignment for is it a function, which hopefully you've seen. A lot of you have already looked at it or at least signed in. That's due. And that is, again, like the first page of your packet. Is it a function? Well, let's see. If it's a graph, it's got to pass the vertical line test. If it's a mapping, it has to have only one arrow leaving each input to be a function. If it's a table of values, well, we're looking to see if the x value ever repeats. But if it does, it better have the same y value. Is it a list of coordinates? Well, the same thing is true. We're looking for whether the x value ever repeats. If it does, it better have the same y coordinate. that's it for is it a function. After that, you have to know what a domain and range is. We said the domain are just the x values in the relation. You would list them in order, least to greatest, and you wouldn't list repeating values. The range are just the list of y values in the relation. You list them smallest to largest, and again, you don't list repeating values. After domain and range, we get function notation and evaluation. F of x equals x plus 2. What's x? What is f of 2? What is f of 3? You just plug it in and solve. If f of x equals 1, we set the equation equal to 1, and we solve that. Just like in the packet, just like in the videos that reviewed that portion of the packet, just rewatch them. It's all there still. Nothing's gone. Then there was using the graph to determine the inputs or outputs like we just did. All right, that was what I just went over. Shouldn't be too bad, and I'm planning for this to happen on Wednesday. So we still have Monday and Tuesday for any extra review, and of course there will be. But for right now, please do, if you didn't already, the quizzes.com assignment. Now again, the link is in the Google Classroom, and you should have already gone there to set it up. But all you do is accept the invitation. If you accept the invitation, it's all good to go. Look for what's been assigned. It's one thing so far. You can try it as many times as you want until your score is good. You don't have to settle for doing it once and getting a bad score. The whole point here is for you to practice it until you know what you're doing. It's also going to be a homework grade. So get that done. If you have any questions, ask me. Email me. Ask me for a Google Meet. No problems. I'll be available today for the meet as well. So log in if you want to, if you have any questions. But this is the lesson for the day, and the assignment again is on quizzes.com. That's QUIZIZZ.com. Let me know if there's any issues. Have a great day and a great weekend. I'll talk to you guys on Monday.